Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new weekly painting, and this time I'm going to paint this type of vortex or these things that are from the spell from the Skaven. So we are going to start painting the base, and I will use this color for the base. Okay, so I will apply this at the base. And we are going to go for everything is going to be on greens again, as we did for I practiced with the Necrons, but this time it's going to be more brighter greens, not that dark. So I'm going to apply this color that is Skarsnik's green on the base. On the vortex that is holding this type of stone and the linings. Okay, so I apply this color and I'm back. Okay, next I'm going to paint the top crystal, and I'm going to use Caliban green as a base color. Okay, and this is going to be like if it's a Warpstone. Okay, and we are going to apply, as usual, a base on this, a thin base all over. So we try to go next to the part we have painted before, and yeah, we are going to paint this. I don't care if there are some linings here. With the linings is the thing we are going to do the last thing in the painting. So if you go over a lining, don't worry. Okay, I will not go over the big linings, but the small ones that are linked or attached to the stone, I will do over them without any problem. So I apply this Caliban green, and then I will be back for the next step. Okay, this is how it looks like now. Next step, I'm going to use a technical paint. This is the Hexwraith flame. Okay, and I'm going to apply this at the bottom. Okay. So I start from the top, and we apply this at the bottom on this type of smoky vortex. Okay, you can see it will give all texture. It will give a nice tonality, a green tonality, I think, mixed with the previous color. Quite interesting, and will be different from the stone. The stone we're going to go for a more yellowish one, and this should have more like white. Okay, you can see. Give a very nice shading. We have all the vortex now popping up. We wait that this dries, because while this is drying it's better not to move too much the miniature, and let it just dry in the recesses and in the right position. If you want to see an example of what I did before, this was the first one, and this will look like once it's dry. So it's quite fast, and it will give a very nice finishing. Okay, so I wait that this dries, and I come back for the next step. So this is how the vortex are looking like once they have dried. You can see texture is quite nice, so it will have worked well the combination. Now I'm going to work a little bit on the stone, and then we are going to do the highlights everywhere. So first I will do all the edge highlighting on the stone. So to do that, the next step I'm going to use is Warstone glow. Okay, and we are going to highlight the edges of the stone. Okay, so we can go quite thick in that case, because we are going to do the highlight in two steps, right? We do first Moot, Warstone glow on top, these have the right name for this. So I guess these are like Warstone big rocks. Okay, and you can see what I'm doing is I'm painting the edges. Okay, and yeah, if I see a white spot I will cover it at this moment. Later on if needed we can go with the darker color, but at this moment just then on some faces like this one you can do completely with Moot green. Okay, sorry, not Moot green, I always confuse Warstone glow. Okay, Moot green will come later. Okay, so we do all these edges of the rock. There are some small linings attached to the rock, I don't care about them at this moment. Again, here we have another small facing, I will do it completely with Moot green. You do some of them if you want. Okay, I can do this one here, I leave it as it is, but then okay, so you can see I'm following all the different edges that we have in this stone. Okay, so let me just so it's quite, let's say this have to be quite a fast to paint, and yeah, I will not dedicate the same level of detail on these things and that the detail I'm dedicating to a hero, for example, or actual miniature, right? Yeah, these things will not be there even if you take them in all the list. Sometimes you will not even be able to summon, or they will not be the right moment to summon, so they will not, don't expect to have always on the table. So now I'm going to use Moot green. Okay, and with that I'm going to do the edges of this stone. I keep next to me Warstone glow in case I need some supporting color, but this is going to be much more visible. Okay, here you want to be a little bit more careful. And we are going to find sometimes when there are like linings on the rock, but you can see that as we have put the Warstone glow, this is working quite well. Okay. And I'm going to use this as a base color for the linings around the stone. Okay. So I keep doing that. Okay. So it's 100 points a spell to put the Vortex of the Skaven, but yeah, thing is Skaven can pay this money for this number of points for a spell like that. I really like a lot how it's designed, the Skaven book. Okay. Okay, you see? I'm doing all the different edges of this rock. Okay, and then I will do the linings. Okay, to the linings I don't need that precise. I'll go with quite a bad brush, to be fair. And we're going to just do all these even linings. Okay, so I will finish that off camera because there is not much to say here, and I show you once the linings have been base coat. Okay, this is how the stone and everything looks like now. Okay, and the thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this from a scale 75. This is a speed yellow. You can also use, if you want, yellow green from Vallejo or model color, but I prefer to use this one. And what I'm going to do this is I'm going to we need to put it first on my, it's really a very visible. So we are going to do the linings first that we have here on the vortex at the bottom. Okay, you will see this color is quite transparent, so I will play with this transparency of the color to keep the green aspect. Okay, so we want to do this, and we want to do all the linings that we have on the vortex. Okay, this is one thing that I'm going to do. And the other thing, we can take bigger brush for that. Okay, and I'm going to just, this is broken, this brush, it's too stiff. I'm trying to look for a soft brush. Yeah, you need to buy some big brushes. Okay, this is completely the spoiled brush, but it will do the work. Okay, so I'm going to apply this at the end of the linings. Okay, what we can do, let me do another thing, different thing. Okay, I will do it at the base of the lining, so I will make the base will work more like a object, light of source object. So making the source of the lining with this yellow. So in that case we can make as well the small linings around the rock. Okay, like this one with the yellow. Okay, and we are going to keep applying this all around. Okay, you can see this color is quite transparent. This is what you want for that, the beginning. Okay, and I'm going to keep applying this on the linings, especially at the base of the linings. You can do, if you want as well, dry brush later on with so far this is what I'm going to do. So this, and then we are going to apply here. Okay, I'm going to play as well a little bit on the most exposed edges of this rock, and I will keep doing that. Okay, okay, so I will keep doing that, and I come back once I'm done. Okay, I've been working a little bit on the base and doing some of the small linings all over the place. It's quite transparent, and you can see it's quite subtle. This is why I went for a yellow. What I'm doing now, I'm taking a big brush and I'm just putting some yellow all over the place. This will give this sensation of sparkling, of more energy looking. Okay, will give more interesting, and you can see it's not really even dry brushing. I'm just taking with the brush removing a little bit the paint, and I'm just touching the linings where I want to give some additional brightness, some additional, so you can do, and if you see that it's too much, it's the texture of this paint is very, this paint is very transparent, it's very easy to remove, so just when you have done that, stop. I will do the other side, so I need a little bit more. It's a very, it requires some trial first. It's very similar to the old yellows we used to have when they were more like, you can see that they're more transparent. I want to show you here on the palette how it looks like. I have this little thing, okay. So this is more like I will put it here on the white, so you see once you put it, it's almost disappearing. Let me do it here, okay. Let's look on here on the pink. I put it, and you see if you wrap too much, you remove it. So what you want to do with this paint is you go there, remove a little bit from the brush, not to have too much, and I just touch the linings in some places. So in that way I have this yellow more visible in some places than other. Okay, I don't know if this was done in purpose. I remember this was very common on some yellows, and I shake it a little bit, a lot. I put a metal ball inside, so you can see I'm really shaking this a lot. I think I have it well shaken, because this can happen sometimes when it's not well shaken, but I think it's really a transparent paint, have this type of look, and at the end it's too, you don't want this to be, you can see if you put too much, like here, you go with the brush and you remove the excess. So this way you have to wait that this dries before doing any additional layer. If not, the only thing that you will do is to move the paint from one side to another. So I will, you see that I have some, maybe some points that I have too much. I go now with the brush and I can eliminate a little bit the excess. Okay, I let it dry, and I will do a second pass with the Fluor, with this Fluor yellow. Okay, so I wait now and I come back once this has dried. So this is how it looks like. I have to apply it several times the yellow, so it's quite a time consuming. I was expecting to be faster, but it looks quite nice, and you see the transitions are not too strong. And now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some additional highlights on the smoke. So I'm going to use again Skarsnik's green, okay, and we are going to highlight a little bit the Vortex. So what I'm going to do is, and at the same time we are going to clean up a little bit if we see a mistake. So but we are going to do something like that, right? So you take the different Vortex waves and you just touch them with this green, okay? Just to give a little bit a different tonality, more greenish type of green, less yellow content this one. So we have more yellow content on the linings, and here we have more white content on this yellow, on this green. Okay, so you can see quite easy. This is another way to do the energy vortex, or the vortex of energy for the Skaven. But this can be used in other spells that you might think, okay, all these type of green things. So I will keep doing that all around, because it's more or less the same. You see, I touch the different ways of the vortex, the different folds, or how you want to call these things, the parts that are more exposed, and just splashing. It's going to be, I don't recommend here to do dry brush. I don't think dry brush will work well on this one, because the transitions are very soft and you will go very easily inside on the valleys of this type of things, okay? So I'm just using You can do later on is a second you want, or use a little bit of glaze later on to make the transition softer if you want. But I like quite a hard transition at the end on this vortex, okay? So I will leave it like that. So this will be my last step. So I will finalize this vortex and I will be back to show you the final result. So this is how it looks like at the end, okay? So we have here the vortex highlighted. We have the linings. You can do if you want a white, if you want them darker, but I want to keep them quite in this fluor color. Okay, so this is how everything looks like on green tones. So this is the way I do the vortex, the new vortex spell from the Skaven. And I hope you have liked this one. So the only thing you can add if you want, add gloss varnish on this Warpstone. But I think for a spell, this is looking good. And this will give a nice look on the table. So that's all for now. Please let me know what do you think. Give a like if you have liked this video. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching. And see you again later. Bye.